Welcome to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have a very, very special guest here today with us, someone I've been looking forward to interviewing for so long with our incredible conversation in the last few months. Neha Tiwari, welcome to the PLA podcast. So lovely to have you on here.
Thank you, Dunia. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
It's a true honor. We've had incredible conversations, as I mentioned, and I would love for our audience to get to know you a little bit more personally, as we've had the privilege of getting to know you in the PLA community. So, meet Neha. She began with big dreams in India and has built a 20 plus year career at the intersection of business strategy and technology. Known not only for designing complex architectures, but for transforming them into conversations that unite diverse teams. Brings passion and dedication to everything she does, solving business challenges to mentoring others. A creative at heart, she expresses herself through painting and designing spaces, passionate about continuous learning and redefining leadership, blending precision with empathy. Represents not just the architect, but also the dreamer, the creator, and the leader behind the title. Neha, welcome once again. So lovely to have you on here.
Oh, thank you very much, Dunia, for this generous introduction. It's really great, and what your introduction makes me pause and think that yes, I was that girl, that little girl from a small town with big dreams and big ambitions, and over the years, all those dreams and ambitions just grew with me, and today I'm here. And what makes me, I think, sets me apart in my abilities is the ability to give 100% to the community, bringing people together, whether it's at work or it's in the friend circle. So very, very happy to be here and very glad to share a bit of my journey with you on this podcast. Thank you.
Oh, such a pleasure. And I can just imagine this little girl with great ambitions. After getting to know you, there is such a dedication to the growth. There's such a dedication to your work and to constantly be striving for more. And getting to know you so personally over the last few months, I also know that how much it means to you to also do that for those you love and to be that, set that example by embodying the work and true leadership.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I agree with whatever you said. I love to um, enable people with what my learnings are to help them and to tell them what I have learned so far so they can expedite their growth and they don't do the same mistake I have done in the past.
Incredible. Well, it brings me actually to my very first question. It's like a perfect little segue. I'd love to know, knowing everything that you know now throughout the years, throughout the experience and everything you've, accomplished throughout your career. I'd love to know, what is something you wish someone had told you at the very beginning, knowing everything that you know now?
A very deep question, and I think it's very close to my heart. I would love to answer it, and I would love to tell it to all my younger selves, my little sisters out there. Few things, like first of all, uh, I feel never self doubt rule you.
Mm.
The reason is so many times we don't try few things that we don't even know what we can accomplish. Most of the time it's like what others will think, or maybe I will fail. That thought makes us stop trying new things. So that was, I think, my biggest lesson throughout this career. And success is a journey of resilience. More you fail, faster you grow. Don't be afraid of failures, and even if you fail, don't be harsh to yourself. It's just a process in learning. I think I would tell my younger sisters and my younger selves that enjoy what you are doing, even enjoy the failures, and you will succeed. One day the success will look so big that you never dreamt of. So strategize your career. Don't be afraid of failure. Never doubt yourself. Pause and enjoy every moment in life. With pause, I think ambitions can become, without pause, ambitions can become exhaustion. So
Mm.
it's so important to pause, reflect, enjoy, stay happy, and keep on trying.
Oh, I love this. That you brought up so many good points. Like, even if we were to close the podcast right here, so many people would have gotten so much value from just that one sentence, that one share. I think that you've brought up something really key that I haven't yet heard on this podcast. And it's without pausing, that ambition can turn into exhaustion. And I'm fascinated. Can you share a little bit more about that? Because that isn't something someone has brought up, but I am sure people listening to this podcast can relate to that statement, especially those striving for more and better, and that are very, very dedicated to some very big dreams and are learning to try, they're on that journey of managing their energy to get there and sustain it. How, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. I would take it from the women perspective, right? We all women, we play multiple roles in our lives, being a mom, a friend, a wife, a corporate leader, sometimes a mentor, and so many roles, right? So the task never ends, whether it's a start of the day or end of the day. Like the more you check the things from the top, more things keeps adding towards the bottom, so it is a rolling thing, it never ends. And that's where I felt that when I learned to pause, to reflect, I started dedicating my reflection time just for the work. Even during the work, if I take out half hour to think what meetings I have done, how I can enable people around me, how could I have done better, that reflection gives so much power than just continuous doing things. So life is no more a checklist. Now you are pausing, reflecting, and learning, because the best thing you can do to yourself, I learned, is the self talk, because you are your best coach, because you know yourself the best. If you can find out how you can improve, if you can find patterns in your life where you succeeded, how you succeeded, and keep repeating those patterns, that's the key. So I think pause is very, very important, and it's a game changer, I would say.
Incredible. I love this. I think that piece around pause really allows us to integrate what we're learning, like you said. And if we don't take the time to pause and make the adjustments as needed through those reflections, so many of us are either heading at 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction instead of, 20 to 30 to 50 miles an hour in the right direction, while taking the moments to pause and say, wait a minute, am I going to the right destination with these actions and decisions that I'm taking? And, the key, we are living in a very fast-paced world, as as you suggest, Neha, and it's like taking those moments of pausing is so important, especially in busy careers as women that are juggling so many different roles. I'd be curious to know, what have been the biggest challenges of your own career? I know we suggested some of them through, the advice you wish that you had heard, but I'd love to know, what were the big challenges? Because so many people are probably watching this podcast, have followed your career and said, she's so ambitious, she's so successful, she must have really, the way must have just opened up for her. So I'd love to know, what were those challenges, and how can people relate to them?
Beautiful question. I think your journey is purely yours.
Mhm.
Never let borrow anybody else's definition of success from anyone. Um, I think the biggest mistake or the challenge I had was, there was a point in time where I was so busy with my personal life, of course, the midlife where the kids were younger and I was so busy. I would beat up myself in my thoughts because I will see somebody else's LinkedIn profile and see, oh my God, she succeeded or he succeeded. And I'm still one step behind. But your strengths are uniquely yours. Your definition of success are uniquely yours. Nobody can define it. As long as you feel satisfied in what you do, the way you are leading, if you feel your leadership skills are enabling the people you are working with, that's your success. No title or role can define it. So I would say that the biggest challenge was comparing myself with everybody else and trying to borrow their qualities. That, okay, if I see somebody swimming, I want to swim, right? If I see somebody doing the good in this technology, I want to do this. Or I wanted to do everything, which is, I think, it's again relating to the previous question. Pause and find out your unique strengths. Pause and think what you want to achieve. Pause and find out what is your goal, what will give you happiness, and then work towards it. I know it's simple to say, but it's very deep. More deep you get into, and then more you understand yourself, the inner you, and you drive with your unique strength that God has given. I think that will be a like magical moment of your life, and you'll be able to grow fast.
I love that. Speaking true to the value of authenticity. I love that. I invite everyone that's watching this podcast to pause the recording actually right here and to write out those questions. What are your unique strengths? What do you truly want? And what is your definition of success? And I think those two really ideal questions are so valuable. And not enough of us ask ourselves those questions. And now how you shared it very clearly earlier. So many of us are overly distracted by other people's definition of success and underutilizing our own unique skills and desires really to drive our own life forward. We're not like, driving someone else's dreams to destination. This is really about us more than anything. Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, Neha, seeing you grow throughout this adventure, throughout this journey with PLA. I'd be curious, we can't have this podcast in 2025 without, talking about this new huge disruption to all markets, which is really the trend of AI, and not it being a trend, but this change, this massive technology change. What is your perspective and how do you see it shifting things? What is your unique experience that you've had with AI in your own work and personal life?
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, AI is a buzzword these days. Everybody is talking about AI. For me, it's so exciting and fascinating. Uh, it's such an enabler. Think of it from the perspective where you as a human want to do so many things. Like again, I'm relating back to all my answers earlier. I wanted to achieve so many things, but by the time you draft couple things or try to finish few things, you're already behind and probably you'll forget about rest of the things. Now you have AI which can enable you. It's your productivity booster. Like you can give, you are the driver, you give the task to AI, it will draft it for you, it will help you fine tune your thoughts, it will help you make you more productive. And then if earlier you were doing two tasks in 1 hour, probably now you can do five, right, in a day. In a day your productivity is increasing because there is AI sitting right there to be your assistant, who can draft emails for you, draw. Like as an architect, if I am designing six or seven architecture, or working on six or seven project at a time, and everything is at a different phases, I can give some of the task to AI. It has been such a big AI productivity booster when it comes to that boring documentation, finding the right strategy, doing the research on how industry is best practices are. All those things that I used to do so manually, going to Google and doing my own work, now it's like my assistant is doing it for me, and I am just reviewing it, finalizing it, and moving fast. So whether you are an AI builder or AI user or AI leader, I mean, you can be anybody, right? You may not be a technology person like me who can build AI products, but you can still use AI. As a leader, there are so many opportunities. So I think AI is so beautiful. In my personal experience, I encourage everybody from my kids to even my parents, right, to use AI, help you which can help you fine tune or sharpen your thoughts and make you more and more productive.
Absolutely. I think, as you said, whatever angle you're taking to use it is so key, and it's going to boost your productivity. I think that you being the driving force behind AI and seeing it as an assistant, seeing it as this opportunity to 10x what you get done in a day. And I love that. And that key element of having it do a lot of the work for you, a lot of the things that we've been avoiding, a lot of the things that have been taking so much time, energy, and effort, and using that time, energy, and effort to review the work and then move on to the next task. I think this is the reality. And I love the fact that you're encouraging your kids and your parents to use it. I think this is, as we saw it with the boom of computers, as we saw with the boom of electricity, this is something that's inevitable and a very big part of our future reality.
That's true. And one more point I would like to add. I work in healthcare industry, and there is so many opportunity within healthcare where we are serving real people, like right from doctor or nurse interaction to insurance claim management, claim adjudication, and there are so many areas. I think every area has humongous opportunity to use AI so we can serve those customers or members or patients in better way, because that's where the humanity really rise. You can work as a human, a heart to heart connection, but rest of all the boring tasks can be handled by AI. And that's where, I mean, if you see my LinkedIn, I have written 2 articles on how to use AI in healthcare, and we have immense opportunity there, everywhere.
Incredible. And I love that really it's at the core of serving humanity more than anything. And, instead of spending so much of our time on these tasks, it's coming back to serving people, serving the customer, serving the client better than we ever have before. I love this. I'm curious, speaking of the human and being of service, I would love to ask you one of my favorite questions on the PLA podcast is, what kind of legacy and impact are you excited to leave behind, Neha, in this lifetime, and something that you're still striving for?
I think the most driving fact is lie in the basics, the core concept of being human.
Mm,
Whatever you do, right, stay human, connect with people with empathy. Whether you are leader, you can still connect with your team members with empathy. If you are an architect, like me, who are dealing with 10 stakeholders at a time and bringing is connect with everybody with empathy, understand their point of view. So being human helps anywhere and everywhere, doesn't matter which position you are at. If you know the work you are doing, how it is impacting a person sitting towards the end of this whole workflow, and how you are making a difference in his or her life,
beautiful.
that is magical. So just don't stay with what you are doing, but think of a human being you are impacting. And when you start thinking from that human angle, I think your work start to do magic, because now your thought process is entirely different. It's not a checklist of 4 tasks. It's like, what else can I do to make that member experience even better? And it's not just at the work, right? Even if you are meeting somebody outside at the store, or in a friend group, or in a social gathering, or in a festival, connecting with people with empathy, understanding them. I mean, I think that's the biggest legacy I would teach my younger kids as well. That be nice, make this world beautiful, be human always, as you say.
I love it. This is so beautiful. I think I love the key applicabilities of what you just shared, in the sense where you're saying be human is so key. And some people may say, well, how can I be more human than I am? And I love the fact that you're saying connect with your teams, connect with those that are going to be directly impacted from your project, and think about, what can I do along the way that is going to help that impact, or support this person on the other end better than I ever have, better than they have before and previously, and being more and more intentional about those human connections that are so key in a world like today, more than ever, really.
Yeah, I love that book by Brené Brown, Dare to Lead, and how beautifully she has said that the empathy can take you far away in your leadership journey, in your executive roles. So, I mean, it's all worth trying.
Incredible. Yet the power of empathy goes so far. And it's such a reminder to everyone listening to the podcast, there, it actually will create even more impact than it ever has before in your work if you allow yourself to lean deeper into that empathy. I'd be curious, we are on the PLA podcast, and that this is the incredible community that we've gone to connect together on. I would love to know, what was the biggest insight you've taken from PLA thus far?
Oh, PLA has taught me so much, Dunia. I was ambitious from day one, from my childhood. I wanted to do more and more, and still today I am. But earlier, I would just get lost in my thoughts, in the noise around me. But PLA has taught me how to cut across that noise and find my own path, right? So the most beautiful, if I have to, like, it's very difficult to find one thing that I have learned from this beautiful community. But most important thing, it has taught me to understand myself, find my personal goals, my own goals, and then cutting down the noise and be focused and follow. Because I mean, I have seen so many great leaders over here who drive with so much empathy and who are so generous to share their knowledge, their expertise without having any barrier, and that is what makes them like true leader, true human. So I think it's making me a better version of myself each and every day, and it's very difficult to tell one thing. I can tell you 100 things that I've been learning from this.
Incredible. I love that the very first thing you shared is so powerful, is cutting through the noise. I think, so many of us are overwhelmed by the amount of information and noise out there in the world, whether it comes from notifications, opportunities, information overload. It never ends. And having a place that allows us to filter through that information, filter through these opportunities, and learn where to focus while making it authentic to who we are in our own journey and our own desires. And like you say, our own definition of success is, just priceless, truly. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on here, Neha. I would love if you have any last words of wisdom to share with our audience today. I'd love to hear them.
I think it will be the summary of what I said. Be kind to yourself, pamper yourself. Like, the core is we are all human. Treat yourself as a beautiful soul. Pamper yourself, celebrate your successes. Yes, pushing yourself ahead is important, but celebrating is as well important. Live in gain you have done so far, not in the gap you have to achieve. Be empathetic, be human. I think that's the only two words comes to my mind again and again, which can drive your leadership, your technical, your personal, your any skills, right? Like stay human to yourself and to others, and stay happy, enjoy the journey.
Incredible. And I love it. So, anybody who is curious about the PLA podcast, who is curious about PLA in the community, I'd invite you all to join the next free training. This is the QR code. You'll find all the information here. It's an incredibly valuable training. I've been so many times. Just by going to this training, you'll be blown away by the amount of value that's available just here. And then if you are curious, obviously there's more information at the training of how the PLA community works, and how the PLA podcast works, and etc. But it's been an absolute treat to have you all join us for this incredible conversation with Neha. Neha, thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. And thank you for your incredible heart. You've been such a gift to get to know over the last few months, and cannot wait to see everything that you will continue to create.
Thank you so much, Dunya. It was a pleasure talking to you.
A true treat. And we'll catch you all for the next episode of the PLA podcast.